Hey my beautiful bookworms, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a wonderful week, a wonderful day, and I hope it gets better because I am telling you guys what I read this month in January. Let's sit down and let's get reviewing. This month I read 3 books and started on another one. I read 1 spiritual, 2 romances, and 1 mystery crime fiction. So the first book that I read this month was Called to Create by John Rayner. He discusses creating his own business. He includes other connections and brands that he has, such as Chick-fil-A, with them using God and spiritual principles in order to build their brand and putting God before their businesses, which I found very, very powerful, and using their profits to serve other communities, which I found so lovely, especially in the society where people use their wealth to serve themselves and not to share and give to others. It's very convicting and eye-opening points about God creating a calling, being a go-getter, and not being afraid to chase after the calling that God has given you and achieving what God has called us to do. There are so many quotes that grappled my heart and changed the way that I view business, owning a business, callings, creativity, passions, etc. And the many more ways that we can incorporate it into our daily lives. How we manage our finances, not only to benefit ourselves but to share around the community as well. He roots himself in God's word even in business environments where companies and the way that business operates nowadays is very worldly based with greed, exploitation. However, John Rayner and his friend, they don't take more income than what their neighbors get in a year, which I found very powerful because most people, they would go ahead and buy their yachts, their houses, their multiple properties, their cars, and him and his friend was just like, no, they can have it. They're making like multiple millions in a year, and instead of keeping it, they decided to share it, which I found really powerful. And he educates us on strategies, building our business, building wealth, and expanding your business or businesses to reach its maximum potential and serving others through the profits that you make. I just found it really crazy how instead of like building on the wealth that he was getting, he still remained humble and keeping himself on to earning what the average person would get in a year, which is crazy. And I found it really humbling as well. Like, damn. And he explained that he did that so that his motives wouldn't get flipped to wanting money and greed instead of serving God through the talents and the passions that he gave to him, and also putting God first. The reason why I rated it half a star down was because it was quite a slow start into the book, which I should practice being more patient in beginnings of books because I feel like I tend to want to get into the good stuff before, which I need to lock in with. I'd highly recommend this book for those who have a hunger to start a business or have a passion that they know God has put in their hearts to create. It doesn't have to be a business. It can actually be something as simple as like even with the YouTube channel, like you're still creating. And if you have that hunger to serve others, then I think this book is the best place to look. I rated this book 4.5 stars and I would highly recommend. Second book, The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Clementine West, a grieving journalist who recently lost her late aunt in self-exit, finds herself in a strange position when she walks into her late aunt's empty apartment. When she comes to find that her stuff is gone, her aunt's stuff is back in their original positions as though she was alive, and there's a man in the apartment. What the frick? I find that this man is called Iwan, as his friends and family call him, but to strangers, James Ashton, which is so mystical and mysterious. And we come to find that he is living there for the summer while her late aunt has gone traveling. So now we're all confused because literally her aunt told her that the apartment has really weird mystical features about it, like it can go 7 years back, which she didn't believe. Neither did I until then. I was like, what the frick? So her and this 7 years past man decide to bunk with each other until he has to leave. Clemmy's going to her boring journalism job, trying to climb up to be the co-director of the company, but she soon comes to realize that that's actually not what she wants. She's trying to be a boss girly. Really, she just wants to be an artistic girly. She loves to paint, that's her passion. She loves to paint on tourism guides with like really cutesy stuff, which I find really creative. And her later on used to collect travel guides, so I found that really special. But as she discovers that this corporate journalism co-director job isn't what she truly wants? Will she decide to leave that career in order to pursue her artistic passions, or will she stay at her boring ass job? I guess y'all have to find out. One day she's really excited to see this 7-year man that she has built a romantic connection with, only to find that she turns the doorknob and opens it. Her stuff that she first moved in with is still in the box. The apartment is dark and Iwan is gone. Iwan's gone and she realizes that she's now back in the present. But will she meet him again? Who knows? I guess you'll have to find out. I love the concept of the apartment being like this really mysterious place. Found cool aspects of it, like intertwining with real life. I found that really cool, and I've never seen that in a book before, unless there is one that I don't know about. But also it being a home full of love, history, mystery, and a secretive past. One thing I admired most about this book was the character development. I wasn't afraid to do things that she was scared of doing. She realized that she had to drop her bum-ass boyfriend. She did, and she didn't stay with him. We weren't watching her being stunted in her growth. I wasn't waiting for her to get her spine and get up and move on. Like, she was just eaten up like that. There was quite a few spicy scenes, which I don't like spicy scenes, period. I should have researched into that before reading the book. However, it was still a very enjoyable read. So I rated this book 4 stars. It was a lovely read. Splendid, must I say. Alright, third book I read was Tough Crowd by Andy Osho. I think the tough crowd was the rage-baited readers that we gained along the way. This book was probably one of the most dragged on novels that I have ever read. We start off with Abby, and she is a comedian trying to rank her way up to being a professional, well-known, famous comedian. She's trying to get into the big leagues. However, we come to find that her humor is equivalent to a wet cardboard sandwich and that she should retire. See her struggling in her love life, going in the same cyclical cycle of trying to find the one. As soon as these dudes be running away because their friends just caught them with some overweight women, then she's like, oh, never mind. I just think I'm just so loud and just too big for him, and my personality is probably just like way too much for him. If we're beginning with that mindset in the book, I would have expected there to be some sort of character growth, which I found was very, very lacking in this book. She expresses her insecurity of her weight the entire book. All of her comedy performances, her 5-minute comedy performances, being all about her weight, how like she sat on like some random dude in the crowd, like his legs would snap or something silly like that. Just the same jokes all throughout the book, and I was thinking, like, is she gonna come with anything else? No, she didn't. Her jokes, self-deprecating, just disrespecting herself, standards of herself just dropping every single time she performs. She just thinks that every single dude that leaves her is because she's just too loud, and the things I said before, like she's too, that they don't find her attractive in that way. Which it was just, I guess, like I'd see where her insecurity would come from, but when it's just like the same issues all the time, and there's no sort of need to sort out the situation for yourself, that's where it's just like, come on sis, let's move on. She was just thinking that any guy that didn't want to get into the sheets with her was because she was just too loud, too big. She finally gets called out towards the end of the book by one of the audience members who was just like,
yo, you calling yourself fat and just like being fat phobic, like it's just not funny. We're kind of past that. We're in a new generation.
She's just like, oh, well, you can leave because I think my jokes are funny, so you can leave. And then everybody just starts leaving. She's just like, oh. It's just like, oh, I just got secondhand embarrassment because it's just like, bro, someone just told you your jokes aren't funny, and you had the strength to keep carrying on telling those same jokes and no one laughs. Later on, she gets a light bulb moment that actually she's not funny and that she should retire. However, in the next chapter, her boyfriend Will, he tells her that, I really want to go back into music since I had kids. My girlfriend like gaslit me into dropping music, and I was really talented, but she was. Her first thought wasn't to be like, I'll support you every single step of the way. She was like, no,
this is now my motivation to keep carrying on.
It was just like, what the frick are you doing? It was just, she had a very selfish mindset, especially Will's daughter, Esme. She wanted to get into the comedian industry as well. However, every single time she got an opportunity, Abby would just be like,
oh, that should have been me. I should have got that opportunity. I don't know why this young 13-year-old bratty girl is getting all the opportunities that I should have gotten.
And it's just like, maybe consider what everybody has been telling you this entire book, that actually you're just not funny. I literally skim read the other half of the book because literally it was just her saying how Esme's being bratty, because I can't lie, Esme was low-key a brat. I was like, why are you being like that for? But she'd just be saying like the most horrible things to Abby. Abby'd be like, "Duh, I just felt so annoyed at her in the moment. I don't know how I'm gonna tell Will about this." And like, I was about to confront her, but then I don't want Will to get mad at me and leave me, so I didn't. And it was just the same thing all over again. It was just rage baiting, because it's just like, what the frick are you doing? You're a grown woman getting bullied by a 13-year-old girlie. Like, come on now.
Water break.
She just didn't realize that she just needed to stop making herself a laughing spectacle and actually just like think of new jokes. Now you don't get bored of telling the same joke for 8 years and just watching everyone just go.
Yeah.
This would have been okay if we saw some character development, however that was just lacking throughout the entire book, and I'm not sure if our editors actually like read this and was like, she's going through the same issues the entire book, you need to change it up a bit. It's just annoying. Like, I felt like I was reading a book about that one friend that's just like, I want to block him. I don't know though, he's like, he's doing all these things, but I don't know if I should leave him or block him. I don't know. I don't want him to feel bad. You know, I don't want to hurt his feelings. You grow up, you're a grown woman. She confronted Will towards the end about Esme's behavior, and he was just like, if you got an issue, just talk to Esme about it. Like, why are you gonna be about it? After that, I was just like, yeah, okay. I rated this book 1 star. Will not be reading again and would not recommend this book. The books I DNF'd was We Will Prescribe You Another Cat by Sho Ishida. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But this book was just very dragged on. This book revolves around this mysterious doctor who prescribes cats to people. I feel like this book failed to be coherent. So at the beginning of the book, the main character, she goes into the alleyway because she's trying to like procrastinate on breaking up with her boyfriend, so like she's trying to go like the long way around. And this random air dude from the top of the stairs, he's just like, hey, yo, come into my room. And she's just like, okay. And it's like, any person, any female with a brain, you would run away, right? No, she went into the room. She didn't even go into the room. She was like twisting around, being like, let me in, let me in. And then he finally let her in. And then he was just like, all right, sit down, what's up? And she was like, what? And he was like, cat. She's like, okay. They went home. Next week, she went back there. He was like, hey, cat. She was like, hey. The entire section of the book was just her boyfriend coming over. She like think that he wants to break up with her and that this is the moment. So she'd be like, I'm kind of busy right now, can you come over next time? And he's just like, okay. Then next week comes over, there's another cat. She's like, can you come over next week? I'm kind of busy. He's like, is that another cat? Yeah, but I'm kind of busy. Oh, okay, bye. Next week, he's back, and then he's like, why the frick are you abandoning these cats? She's like, no, I'm not, but I'm busy. All right, bye. And it's just the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, hey, is there gonna be any plot? Like, the frick? No, there wasn't. Spoiler. Turns out that he was just moving to the city, and he just wanted to let her know that they'd be further apart, so they'd have to like organize their meetups more like strategically. And she was like, oh, I just found it weird because she was thinking that he was gonna break up with her since she wanted to break up with him first, but then now they're not breaking up, so then what are you gonna do? Because now you're just planning to break up with him, so like does that not mean that you don't like him as much anymore? Like, everything was about her and this cat, and there was nothing external going on around the plot. And her best friend, she was just there just to give cat information. We don't know anything about this best friend. They'd meet up at a cafe, the best friend, and she'd be like, this is his poops, is this good? And she'd be like,
I don't know, can you not show me that? And she's like, oh yeah, So about the cat, like what lyrics should I use? And
like, it's just like, oh, it was just so boring. Like, I actually don't know how I got through the first part of that book, but I'm glad that I DNF'd it because it was so freaking boring. The main character, she was telling the best friend how boyfriend isn't who he says he is, and he's not as he seems, and then we find out that she lied. It's weird because we never get the scenes like where like she's going into this and like explaining how the boyfriend's like this. Is just like, it just comes out of nowhere. This best friend being like, okay, so why the frick would you lie? She was just like, oh, it's okay. Like, there was just lack of emotion, there was lack of character development, there was just lack of plot. It was just like very empty scenes. There was just a lack of connection between all the characters. It just seemed like they were just put together and that's it. There was no lore into any of these characters. There was no sort of like bonding. It was just all very much centered around the cats. I did start reading Good Girl's Guide to Murder towards the end of January. However, I did not finish the book yet. So this will be in the February reads. So this cover is still pretty. Like, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Shout out to my amazing boyfriend who got me this book. I love him so much. Thank you, my pokey pig. To reach the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what books you like the most, if you have read them, what books intrigued you, what books did you also not enjoy. Like, subscribe, please. Please subscribe. Yeah, just let me know, guys, when you have a cheeky conversation in the comments. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next fortnight on Friday. Bye.